It's easy at she.com.
Good morning, America. This morning, ready to testify. The woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault now agreeing to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The negotiations ongoing this morning. Why this deal could still fall apart.
Court date. Stormy Daniels heading to federal court in her civil case involving Donald Trump. What the judge's decision could mean in her attorney's efforts to get depositions from the president and his former personal attorney.
Breaking overnight, wildfire exploding in size. The flames forcing mandatory evacuations, crews tackling the fire from the ground and the air. The efforts on all fronts this morning to get it under control.
Caught on camera, look at this. Kids in the driver's seat. The bus driver allegedly letting them take the wheel.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm letting her stop and Michael stop.
The charges that driver is now facing.
And ready to bite. The stars of Shark Tank joining us live to preview their 10th season, sharing their secrets for success.
We have a deal!
Plus, the contestant now turned shark.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
All right, so the Sharks are here. I don't want to prejudice anybody, but Whit has an idea for the Sharks. It's not the best idea ever.
Yeah, we think he's going to get made fun of.
We'll see. We'll see if they bite, but it could be a very embarrassing moment on national television.
I'm really looking forward to that. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get straight to the news. It looks like the stage may now be set for a history-making hearing in the U.S. Senate. Sources telling ABC News that Dr. Christine Blasey Ford has now cut a tentative deal to testify this week.
And she has agreed to tell her story of allegedly being sexually assaulted by Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh when they were teenagers. Kavanaugh has denied those claims.
Now, this tentative deal comes after days of intense back-and-forth negotiations between Dr. Ford's attorneys and the Republicans in charge of the Senate Judiciary Committee. And there are still details that need to be ironed out, including who will be asking those questions.
Now, the White House appearing to hold steady in support of Kavanaugh. Overnight, Vice President Pence confidently predicting Judge Kavanaugh will be confirmed.
We have team coverage this morning. George is standing by, but let's start with ABC's David Wright, who's in New Jersey, where President Trump is spending the weekend. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, guys. This tentative deal comes after a lot of intense wrangling from both sides over how and when this hearing would proceed. But according to sources, Dr. Ford has agreed to testify Thursday. The Senate Judiciary Committee's Me Too moment, a showdown likely to dominate the news all week long, and one that threatens to polarize the country even more. Committee Chair Chuck Grassley of Iowa had set a 2:30 deadline Saturday for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford to commit to testify about her allegations that Judge Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a high school party in 1982, allegations that Kavanaugh categorically denies. The latest in a series of deadlines, or else, Grassley said, the committee would proceed to a vote. At 2:17, an email arrived from her lawyers. Quote, Dr. Ford accepts the committee's request to provide her firsthand knowledge of Brett Kavanaugh's sexual misconduct next week. But Ford's attorneys also complained about the leaks and the bullying that have tainted the process and made it clear negotiations are not finished yet. Speaking to conservative activists at the Values Voters Summit, Vice President Mike Pence expressed confidence Kavanaugh would survive this.
But honestly, the way some Democrats have conducted themselves during this process is a disgrace and a disservice to the Senate and the American people.
But Ford's family and many others are demanding justice.
They need to know what this man did in his youth so that he's held responsible.
Not since Anita Hill accused Judge Clarence Thomas of sexual harassment a generation ago has a Supreme Court confirmation become such a lightning rod. And if the Thomas confirmation is any guide, the Kavanaugh hearings could have political fallout far beyond the Senate committee room. But President Trump insists he's not worried.
Brett Kavanaugh, fantastic man. He was born for the U.S. Supreme Court. He was born for it. And it's going to happen.
There are still a couple of points of contention here. One of them, whether the committee will hear from other witnesses. Dr. Ford has reportedly identified a number of people that she says were at the party and might be able to corroborate her story. At this point, we know of 3 people who have come forward to the committee to say they have no recollection. And in any case, the Senate Judiciary Committee Chair Chuck Grassley has said he's only interested in hearing from her and him. Dan?
David Wright in New Jersey. David, thank you. A lot to talk about, so let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos. George,
good morning, guys.
Good morning. You heard David talk about the sticking points, the remaining sticking points. Is it your sense that this thing's going to happen?
Yeah, let's underline tentative right now. I mean, I think that Dr. Ford has agreed to Thursday. It appears that Senator Grassley said Thursday could be okay, but those sticking points that David just identified, some of the sticking points could end up blocking this hearing from actually taking place. The Democrats do want other witnesses to come forward. Maybe they'll end up having the witnesses outside the hearing. That could be a compromise. There's this whole question of whether a staff attorney should question Dr. Ford instead of the senators. Maybe they'll work out a compromise there where they have both do it. But there still is a fair amount to work through on this hearing, and Thursday's pretty long ways away.
Depending on who's doing the gauging of the length of time, because for some of these people, it feels like, you know, they got to push this thing through fast. But let's talk about the stakes here. Here's how the New York Times put it this morning. A judge who could well overturn Roe v. Wade, handpicked by a president who has faced allegations of sexual misconduct, now faces an accusation of sexual assault that has plunged the Senate into chaos less than 7 weeks before an election. So what do we look? How can we think about this?
This is the highest stakes congressional hearing in a generation, probably since the Anita Hill Clarence Thomas hearings back in 1991. If both Kavanaugh and Dr. Ford testify, it's all going to come down to who do the senators believe, and this is in some ways something which is very hard to get to the truth to. It happened so many years ago. As David pointed out, the 3 other people that Dr. Ford has identified as being at the party say they have no recollection of what happened there. I think one of the other big questions out there, will other information come forward in the coming days that could tip it in one direction or the other. But this is going to be a very tough call for both Dr. Kavanaugh, for Dr. Ford, and for all those senators who in the end are going to have to make a vote.
And it's not just who the senators believe, it's what the American people believe heading into these midterms.
Right, and remember, on this one, Judge Kavanaugh comes into these hearings already underwater with the American public. He is not a particularly popular nominee. When Justice Thomas had his hearing back in 1991, he came in with support from the American public, and more Americans believed him than believed Anita Hill back in 1991. Will that be the case this time around? We don't know.
Times have changed in many ways. George, thank you.
Thank
really
you.
Appreciate it. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning, including more on the battle over Brett Kavanaugh with a top Democrat on the Judiciary Committee, Senator Dick Durbin. Is also going to go one-on-one with Ambassador Nikki Haley ahead of this week's UN General Assembly. It's all coming up on This Week right here on ABC. George, thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Fascinating week ahead. Thank you. Now to adult film star Stormy Daniels and her fight to keep her lawsuit against President Trump alive.
A hearing is set for tomorrow in the closely watched case involving the president and his former fixer, Michael Cohen. ABC's Kenneth Moten is in Washington with that story. Good morning, Kenneth.
Good morning, Eva. This civil case has essentially been dormant for months because of the criminal case involving Michael Cohen. Tomorrow, the federal judge could decide the fate of this ongoing legal saga between the president and Stormy Daniels.
Attorneys representing President Trump and adult film star Stormy Daniels back in a Los Angeles federal court tomorrow for what could be a significant ruling. In a stunning reversal earlier this month, both the president and his former personal attorney, Michael Cohen, promising not to enforce a $130,000 non-disclosure agreement Daniels signed just before the 2016 election. The NDA, an attempt to keep Daniels, whose real name is Stephanie Clifford, quiet about an alleged sexual encounter between her and Trump years ago. Daniels and her attorney, Michael Avenatti, who've been fighting the NDA, not letting Trump and Cohen off the hook.
They're very concerned that we're going to get a chance to depose Michael Cohen and Donald Trump.
The civil case has been on hold while Cohen dealt with the criminal case against him. But last month, Cohen pled guilty to 8 felony charges, including 1 campaign finance violation for the payment to Daniels. Cohen claiming he arranged the hush payment at the direction of then-candidate Trump. The president has denied any wrongdoing, and the affair.
To be called a liar and people not believe me for months and months and months had really taken its toll. So it was just so, like, yes, vindicated. I just felt like all this weight came off my shoulders.
Tomorrow, the federal judge could dismiss the civil case or reject the Trump and Cohen motions, effectively restarting the case. That move could lead to a next step the sitting president likely doesn't want to deal with, a deposition.
They don't want me to have an opportunity to ask Donald Trump questions under oath and for him to have to answer those questions and then for the world to hear those answers.
Because the judge hasn't ruled on any of the arguments in this case or even given a structure for tomorrow's hearing, is anyone's guess about what could happen next. Whit?
All right, Kenneth Moten in Washington, thank you. Now to a California wildfire exploding in size overnight and now threatening homes.
That fire forcing mandatory evacuations. Firefighters fighting to get it under control under difficult conditions. Over 100 on those front lines, and Rob's here this morning with those details. Rob.
Hey, good morning. Already a devastating wildfire season. We're now getting into the peak of it for Southern California, but we're not really in any sort of Santa Ana wind event. Still, yesterday afternoon in Southern California, a fire started and it ramped up quickly.
Overnight, fire crews battling this fast-moving brush fire burning out of control. The raging Charlie fire north of Los Angeles exploding overnight, from 3 acres to over 3,000 in just a matter of hours, triggering mandatory evacuations. The fire this morning only 10% contained.
There's a lot of fires out here all the time. A lot of people lose their homes.
More than 100 firefighters deployed in a race against time. Helicopters and airplanes bringing the aerial assault.
2 copters in the air, 1 copter doing drops, and we do have a number of strike teams all throughout the ridge watching the fire, making sure it doesn't jump.
Watch as you can see the top of this ridge completely engulfed in flames. Crews on the scene setting back fires and cutting lines to try to slow the blaze. The expanding fire creating a massive plume of smoke that can be seen for miles.
Warm and dry there today. The winds, though, will be across parts of Northern California, where we've got some red flag warnings, and across parts of eastern Nevada, getting into Wyoming as well. Critical fire danger there today. It is warm and will continue to be this afternoon. Temperatures in the 90s, and that will continue, I think, for the next several days. Actually, the next 3 or 4 days, we'll see temperatures get back into the triple digits. Much more weather coming up in just a few. Back to you guys.
Well, Bill Cosby heads to court tomorrow for the start of his sentencing hearing.
Comedian, once known as America's Dad, is going to learn his fate after he was convicted of sexual assault. And ABC's Ariel Reshef is on the story. Good morning.
Good morning to you guys. As you know, all eyes are on this sentencing. It's been a dramatic fall from grace for Bill Cosby. Anticipation now building for what is expected to be a highly emotional public hearing. Cosby now facing the possibility of years behind bars.
He's the first celebrity to be convicted of sexual assault in the Me Too era.
Guilty, guilty, guilty!
Please sit down, all 3 of you. Let me tell you something.
Monday, America's former TV dad, Bill Cosby, due back in a Pennsylvania courtroom to hear his fate during the first day of his sentencing hearing. Cosby, once one of Hollywood's most adored stars, found guilty in April of 3 felony counts of aggravated indecent assault for drugging and sexually assaulting Andrea Constand at his Pennsylvania home in 2004.
Each of the charges carries a 10-year maximum sentence.
The former comedian's first trial ending in a hung jury, but a retrial resulting in that guilty verdict. All eyes will be on Constand this week as she comes face to face with Cosby, taking the stand to deliver her victim impact statement. A judge denying a motion that would have allowed more Cosby accusers to address the court. Prosecutors are also arguing the court designate the 81-year-old a sexually violent predator, a scarlet letter Cosby's attorneys are hoping to avoid.
We are very disappointed by the verdict. We don't think Mr. Cosby is guilty of anything, and the fight is not over.
From the outset, Cosby has maintained any sexual encounters with his accusers were consensual. He's widely expected to appeal.
It's not unthinkable that the judge could sentence him to jail time and order that he be turned over immediately to correctional officers at that hearing.
Now, Bill Cosby is legally blind. His attorneys are likely to argue that his declining health is one of the reasons for a lesser sentence. Cosby is permitted to make a statement. There's no word yet on whether he will do so. A lot of people wondering, though.
Ariel, thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're going to move on now to a wild story out of Indiana. A bus driver accused of letting middle school students take the wheel. The alleged incident caught on camera. It went viral. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm letting her stop at Michael stop.
That is a child behind the wheel of a school bus. The viral video allegedly shows the actual bus driver coaching the kid with other students on board.
First, we gotta put your foot on the brake. There you go.
Authorities in Indiana say 27-year-old Joandria McAtee allowed 3 students, ages 11, 13, and 17, to drive her bus in a rural area as they dropped kids off after school. Police say a parent contacted the school's resource officer. The school district then investigated. When McAtee showed up at the Porter Township School's bus barn Thursday to pick up her check, police arrested her, charging her with neglect of a dependent. The school says in a statement, the Porter Township School Corporation is angered and disappointed in the actions of this driver. The safety of our students is a top priority. The bus company First Student adding behavior such as this is completely unacceptable and totally at odds with what we stand for as a company. The driver has been terminated.
No one was injured during that bus trip, but guys, what a ride.
Unbelievable. Stephanie Ramos, thanks so much. It's just, we were watching the video, and the fact the bus driver was standing so far back, too, incredibly alarming.
So hands off.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, shifting gears, so to speak here. Tiger Woods on the verge of capping his comeback with a victory today at the Tour Championship in Atlanta. He goes into the final round with a 3-stroke lead after firing a 5-under 65 on Saturday, including 6 birdies in 7 holes. This is the first time Woods has led going into the final round since his last victory 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Rob was glued to the TV.
I was. And you know what? Tiger, I don't think he's ever lost a tournament with a 3-stroke lead going into the final round.
So you're hopeful that he's going to win?
I mean, I'm pretty confident he's going to win.
Confident
The
for
smart
Tiger.
money is at the Tiger.
Right.
But he's a different guy now, and he's got Justin Rose and McIlroy on his heels.
But should we listen to Rob? He's a weatherman.
That's what I was just going to say. His predictions are a little iffy.
I can go on and on about golf. But
Dan is a sports guy anyway.
Oh, yeah, no, he was really chatting me up.
You know how much trouble I'm in with Rob right now? Yeah. I am in so much trouble. I will hear about this through the commercial break and the rest of today.
No, you got it, bro. I mean, your take on the Louisiana Tech game yesterday was really fascinating. I want to show you what's going on in Texas, just west of Louisiana. Boy, they had it hard yesterday, and as far as rainfall goes, over a foot of rain in parts of Texas. Just north of Austin, where there were actually some evacuations yesterday, and the San Gabriel River really rushing and obviously up and over its flood banks. Also, the Rich Creek in Virginia. So we got a wide span of some torrential rainfall, and you can kind of see it streaming now finally east of I-35. So the shifting is going to be now across parts of Arkansas and the Tennessee Valley and up the Ohio River Valley as well. We've got some flood alerts there, and you can see Virginia is in that too. So this stationary boundary, obviously not going anywhere. We're getting some waves along it, and we've got thunderstorms and rain showers firing up along that, and that's going to continue to be the case, I think, really through the next couple of days with a little bit of a bullseye there and across the Mid-South. Memphis up through Paducah could see 4 to 6 inches of rainfall getting into Cincinnati, so some of the NFL games, as Dan was pointing out, might be affected by some of this rainfall. That's a check on what's happening weather-wise. Time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. What a chill first full day of fall, and yeah, it's really fall-like out there. Temperatures today in the lower 60s. If you are heading to FedEx, make sure you have the layers and the rain gear. You'll definitely need it. Periods of rain all day. More of the same tomorrow, 67 degrees. A little bit of sunshine maybe by Tuesday evening. For the most part, mostly cloudy. Temperatures in the lower 70s. 86 on Wednesday. I think we'll have the chance for some afternoon showers and storms, some of which may be on the strong to severe side.
Today is the first full day of fall and in celebration. I broke out the brown suit, you know?
Oh,
you know?
Are you going to wear it all season?
I don't know. I don't have Ron here to defend me from the onslaught.
From the attacks?
Yes. No, he wouldn't be defending me at all.
There are food stains on that suit from
Wait, have you had it cleaned?
No. Dry cleaning doesn't, it damages your suits. I don't like to.
So you haven't cleaned that
suit? A little smudge there, but it's right. It'll be fine.
Spit polish. Yeah.
I knew I smelled something this morning. Thanks, Rob. Well, Michelle Obama is making a splash with her new book tour.
Yeah, the former First Lady is selling out arenas usually filled by the likes of stars like Madonna. So Diane Macedo's on the story. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So when you think of events that cost thousands of dollars a ticket, Hamilton might come to mind, maybe a Beyonce concert, but nope. The hottest ticket in town is now Michelle Obama's book tour. And while it promises an intimate conversation, the setting will be any